Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just the DC TV stuff in general, the Arrowverse, because we're talking about, mostly in this video, some Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff. So we are now starting to get, cool little things dropped fairly regularly for our favorite DC TV shows on the CW. This just builds hype for us as we are now in the final month until the shows are back. This break's gone fairly quickly, I think, but yeah, it of course gives us some stuff to just, have a chat about and just have little guesses and theorize about what might happen at certain times in the near future. Now, in this video, for the beginning at least, we will be talking about some Crisis on Infinite Earths information before moving on to some other little tidbits, I guess you could say, from the shows across the Arrowverse that may or may not play into Crisis as well. Just depends on this little tidbit, I guess. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to drop your various opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below and what gets you excited and just all of that. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're just excited for what's to come, why not drop a like on the video to show that excitement and support. But the first thing I want to talk about is a post from Steve Demel, who of course plays Oliver Queen on Arrow, and he posted this on Twitter, which might hint at something we might get to see ourselves soon, whether it be this week, tomorrow, or just in the weeks to come. But this is what Steven said on Twitter. Read the synopsis of hashtag Crisis on Infinite Earths earlier today. Holy expletive. Now, if this doesn't get you that little bit more excited for Crisis, then I don't really know what will. Well, actually, now that I guess about it, I guess a trailer would get you more excited, but they haven't even started filming the crossover yet, so that's not going to happen for a while. But with some of you, it might not even be possible to get more excited for this. Some of you might have already hit the ceiling with your excitement. For me, personally, I'm almost at the top. I'm just super interested to see how they attack this crossover as a whole. And just quickly to address something, people have started a rumor that I've been cast in a cameo role for Crisis. This isn't true. I've actually been cast in The Flash this season as the new secret lover of Iris West, so I just thought I would clear the air there and set the record straight. So yeah, it is true. RIP West Allen. Hello West Pagey, it's coming. But the major Crisis news that hit the internet over the past few days had to do with a character from the past, literally, joining the Crisis on Infinite Earths event in some form. And that character from the literal past that will be joining Crisis is that of Jonah Hex. Now, for those that don't watch Legends of Tomorrow and didn't even know Jonah Hex was actually a part of the Arrowverse at this point, Jonah Hex may ring a bell thanks to the terrible movie starring Thanos, Magneto, and the hot girl from Transformers from 10 years ago or something. But on Legends of Tomorrow, we met Jonah Hex when we traveled back to the late 1800s. He made appearances in seasons 1, 2, and 3. Now, for those wondering how someone from the late 1800s is going to show up and assist in Crisis, in the comics, time and the multiverse start to, twist and turn, I guess you could say, due to what's happening, and people start showing up on the Prime Earth as the multiverse is changed and affected. I won't spoil how it all happens and different things like that, as it is a cool thing to sort of be, surprised by and just experience yourself, especially with some other possible show-ups due to this. I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of people from different times showing up, but it is possible. But yeah, Jonah Hex appearing isn't as ludicrous as it might initially appear, because Crisis just gets all topsy-turvy in certain parts. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how they use Jonah, whether it's just for one episode or it's consistent. I'd expect one episode, if not maybe the last episode with Legends there, maybe after the multiverse has been changed a bit. Have to wait and see though. Now, on the topic of Crisis again, we have not a confirmed appearance in regards to a character, but an actor, which I did do a video on the other day, which was that John Wesley Shipp will be back for Crisis. Hasn't been confirmed whether it's for the Earth 90 Flash or Jay Garrick or both or a different character or something like that, but he will be back for Crisis on Infinite Earths in some way, shape or form, as well as the Flash the Flash this season, sorry. You'd have to think Earth 90 Flash, because I just expect that to be the case. I'm not going to go into too much detail why that is, but they just didn't really finish him off. They introduced him and then he was gone all of a sudden. So it's almost like they might have been setting him up to come back for this. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jay Garrick appeared as well. It makes sense if both of them showed up, doesn't it? Anyway, let's move on. Now, one thing which a lot of people were asking me to talk about, but this happened I want to say a week ago, maybe even longer than a week ago, was that Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling were actually at a convention, a Smallville sort of panel thing, and the whole Crisis thing came up and a lot of talk about it. And apparently, Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville, and Tom Welling, who of course played Clark Kent on Smallville as well. Apparently, neither of them have been approached to be in Crisis on Infinite Earths, apparently. When I heard this, my first thought was, that sounds like BS, because there's all this constant chatter. And look, I'd be almost shocked if these two don't appear, or at least one of them doesn't appear in Crisis. I mean, we have all these different people coming back. We have like Kevin Conroy playing a live-action version of Bruce Wayne for the first time ever. You know, Brandon Routh suiting up again as Superman. There's all this stuff happening. Like Burt Ward, who played goddamn Dick Grayson in the 1960s Batman show, where he played Robin, Dick Grayson. He's in the goddamn crossover. So if these two aren't there, basically the guys that were the headliners of the modern day superhero show. Yes, Arrow, I think, had taken it to the next level, but Arrow was possible due to Smallville. So it seems super, super, super weird if neither of these two guys were, you know, set to appear. Just to me, that sounds crazy. So I think it's a lot of teasing. And they're probably waiting for a big announcement. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, just as they're about to start filming, we get an announcement, at least one of them showing up. But I would expect both of them. I just think it'd be weird if they didn't show up. But I guess maybe they have to work out roles to play, because I think Tom Welling has said in the past, if he did come back to be on one of these shows, he wouldn't want to play Superman again. He'd want to play a different character. So, and I think maybe Michael Rosenbaum said the same thing about Lex. I'm not too sure about him, but I know Tom Welling said he didn't want to play Superman again. So maybe that's the issue there, but we'll have to wait and see. But on the topic of Superman, Tyler Hoechlin, who of course plays Superman in the current Arrowverse and will be appearing in Crisis, there was some talks about him maybe going to the movie side of things and being the new Superman in the movies due to like the request or demand from some fans. And this is what he had to say in response to that. I did not know that. That's very flattering. Very flattering. I appreciate the support. It's different from the first announcement. The first time, who? Who's this guy? What? Why? No, please God, no. No, the support has been great. It's been very nice to receive the reception that the characters had. But when he was talking about on like joining the movie franchise, should the role become vacant, he said, who knows? You never know what's going to happen in this crazy world. Now, personally for me, I think Tyler Hoechlin is a great Superman for TV and the Arrowverse. I think he really harnesses like the Clark Kent sort of era, and they've even like sort of not cemented that, but definitely hinted that that's what they were going for when they cast Elizabeth Tulloch, I think, or Tulloch, however you pronounce her name, who plays Lois Lane, because she does look like the Lois Lane from the 1970s Superman movie and that whole series. Margot Kidder, I think that was the actress's name. So that's definitely what they're going for. And little nuances they've gone for as well with the character, and certain things that even happen on Supergirl as well. So I think he's a great Superman for what the Arrowverse is trying to portray. Obviously, I don't know what they're doing with the movies now with Superman, but I don't know if I'd necessarily want Tyler Hoechlin being there. I think he's a great Superman for our universe and the Arrowverse, but I think with the movie stuff, they might want to go for someone who's a bit more Superman-esque, because Tyler Hoechlin's not that tall, I don't think. So I don't necessarily agree with this, but I do agree that he's a good Superman, but on the TV side of things. Now, one thing I've seen a lot of people talk about, I think it's just one of those things that just starts online and people like snowball it. And if you watch Arrow, you would remember that in the finale for last season of Arrow, it says that Oliver dies in 2019. But as you'll know, Crisis starts in 2019 but doesn't end till 2020. The last two episodes are in 2020. The Arrow and Legends episode are in 2020. So people think, oh, okay, they've stuffed up and Oliver must die in like the third episode or something. It's important to remember that the event won't be set in real time. The event won't go for multiple months and won't accommodate our break, like that Christmas and New Year break. So Crisis will start in 2019, probably go for like a week in their time or something, and then end in 2019, and Oliver will, he's reported death, if you want to call it, that's like reported on that tombstone, will be in 2019. So I don't know why people are getting confused about that, but yeah, so he still, quote unquote dies in 2019. It's just that the event doesn't end till 2020 because we have the break. Now, we actually have two interesting Legends things to end off the video. The first one actually has to do with an Arrow character, and I don't know if this is true or not. It might just be some misinterpretation from what people were saying, but apparently Roy Harper, who of course was on Arrow for a while, will be joining Legends this season. The rumor started because he was on a Legends of Tomorrow panel at Dragon Con or something like that, a convention, and I think Tala Arsh, who plays Zari on Legends, said that Colton Haynes, who plays Roy Harper, was joining Legends. Now, I don't know if this was like a tongue-in-cheek thing because it hasn't been an official announcement or anything like that. I don't know what's necessarily going on here. I don't know how they would make that work. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's happening. I don't think it's happening. I think it's just like some misinterpretation. But there hasn't been an official announcement about it, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And with Legends as well, some people might like this news, but apparently Mona is leaving Legends. She won't be in the new season. If she is there, she's there for like maybe the first couple of episodes, but then goes because the actress hasn't been seen on set for multiple episodes. Like, I don't think she's been seen on set at all this season. Just the like that werewolf version of her was seen, like the actress who plays that werewolf version was seen. So if you didn't like Mona, well, you might enjoy the news that she's gone, but I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over, what gets you excited, what are your different thoughts and stuff on the various topics we went over. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.